Did you see this coming? I didn't see this coming. What a win for the West Virginia Mountaineers as they pull off the upset and stun the Houston Cougars, the ranked Houston Cougars, 45-35 in a huge win at TD-ECU Stadium in Houston, Texas. I am so proud of this football team. As a matter of fact, this is one of those moments I have to pull out the custom coonskin cap. I say custom. It ain't really custom, but it works. That's right. This is a big win for the Mountaineers and Coach Rod and his team. Could not be happier for this group, man. They deserve this win. They've worked hard. They've had a rough year, and they sit now at 3-6 on the season with actually an extremely long shot. I get it, but there is still a very slim chance they get bowl eligible if they win out. But let's not even worry about that right now. Right now, we're going to talk about this game today. Huge effort. We saw improvements really across the board, at least in several phases. We saw the offensive line play better today. Did they play perfect? Not even close. We saw a 100-yard rusher for the second time this year with Dior Hubbard. That young man ran his butt off and played his guts out for this football team. Hats off to him. Scotty Fox leads this team to victory once again, plays a game with no turnovers, takes care of the football. Cam Vaughn catches another touchdown. Jeffrey Weimer has another good day. The defense steps up, forces three turnovers. We get a turnover on special teams, which, by the way, I said the special teams is going to have to help win this football game, and they did that. There were still some negatives from the game, but which we will talk about. But right now, man, I'm just so excited. I knew that this team had a shot to pull off a Big 12 win at some point. I knew that they could potentially beat Houston, but I wasn't expecting it. I actually picked West Virginia to lose 27-10 in our pregame predictions. But I'm just so happy for this football team, man. Could not be more excited. I want to thank all of you for joining me on this live show. As we talk about this game, let's go ahead and talk about the stats real quick. We'll go through those. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and do a quick screen share so you guys can look at them with me. Let me pull them up, and we'll look at them together. All right. You've got, obviously, final score 45-35. When you look over to the right of your screen, you'll see the team stats. West Virginia outgained Houston 403-400. Passing yards, Houston got the edge there, 318-157. Rushing yards, 246 for West Virginia, only 82 for Houston. West Virginia's run defense played well today. Penalties, eight penalties for 80 yards for West Virginia. Too many penalties. Some of those were back-breaking penalties as well. But there were also some of them, in my opinion, that were not penalties. West Virginia, in my opinion, got screwed on at least 2, if not 3, PI calls in this game, defensive PI calls. And the referees did their part to try to help West Virginia lose this football game. But let's keep going. Houston only committed 2 penalties for 15 yards. First downs, West Virginia 20 first downs. Coach Rod's goal is to get to 25. They didn't quite get 25, but they did get 20. Houston got 26. Third downs, West Virginia converted 5 of 17, which is not good. However, they converted 4 of 4 on fourth down, including that one at the end of the game where they had to bring out the chains, and West Virginia was able to get it basically by the nose of the football. So a big conversion there that basically sealed the game for them. West Virginia was able to run 75 plays to Houston 67 with 5.4 yards per play compared to 6 for Houston. Average yards per completion, 12.1 for West Virginia, 12.2 for Houston. 4.6 yards per rush for the Mountaineers, only 2.6 for the Cougars. Sack adjusted rush yards, 246 for West Virginia, 106 for Houston. Red zone. West Virginia 2 of 3 in the red zone. Houston 4 of 4 in the red zone. So West Virginia's red zone defense did not play well today. Time of possession. West Virginia actually wins the time of possession, which is pretty remarkable considering Houston, that's one of the strengths of their team is holding on to the football, keeping the other team's offense off the field. Well, today, West Virginia won that. Now, some of that does have to go into a couple big plays that Houston picked up on the West Virginia defense. So, there is a flip side to that as well. Turnovers, obviously the 4 forced turnovers by the Mountaineers. This defense continues to force turnovers. The huge pick six by Jordan Scruggs was a difference in the football game. Really changed momentum, and West Virginia was able to keep that momentum for the most part. 5 fumbles for Houston. They lose 2 of them. Again, West Virginia, no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. That's a big deal. 2 games in a row now, they have not turned the football over. Sacks, West Virginia sacks Houston's quarterback 3 times. Houston, 0 sacks. So Scotty Fox was able to be kept clean today for the most part. He did get hit a few times, but no sacks. And TFLs, 5 tackles for loss for West Virginia for a total of 26 yards. And Houston had 2 TFLs for 8. So once again, Scotty Fox, he gets rid of the ball quickly. Not every throw is going to be perfect. Not every throw is going to be deep down the field. And he still missed on some deep balls that he would like to have back, I'm sure. Especially that one to Cam Vaughn down the sideline. Had he led Cam Vaughn, I think it was in the 3rd quarter. If he leads Cam Vaughn a little more, that's a touchdown. But it didn't hurt him in the end. But the one to Jeffrey Weimer was an absolute dime. So we got to give him credit for that one. But he got rid of the football quickly to avoid sacks. The O-line blocked fairly well today. I'll be anxious to see their PFF grades, at least in the passing game. Now, they still made some errors. They still let him get hit a couple times that he shouldn't have got hit. They didn't play perfectly, especially the right side continued to struggle today. We saw Walter Youngbear and Tykeus Crawford on that side of the line. The left side did much better with Nick Cray and Donovan Haslam over there. But nonetheless, they did enough, right? They won the football game. Just a gutty performance. They gutted out a win. This team has not given up, despite going into last week with a 2-5 record. They didn't give up. They held their own against TCU. This week they go on the road to a ranked Houston team, and they hold their own. And not only hold their own, they win the football game. Now, I do want to say something I failed to say in my pregame show. I want to give my condolences to the Houston Cougar family. They did lose their strength and conditioning coach earlier in the week. I'm sure that was weighing on this football team today. My heart goes out to them. It's been a very emotional week for them. I'm sure that was weighing on their minds today. They were playing this game in his honor. That's the reason they wore black. They had, obviously his initials on the field and all that. So sorry to hear about their loss. My heart goes out to the Houston Cougar family, to his family. I think his name was Kurt Hester, I believe. So my heart goes out to his family. And so sorry for their loss. So I did not want to forget about that, before I get off the air here. Did want to mention that. I want to remind you to please hit the like button on this live show, or if you're watching it on the playback, the likes really help drive the algorithm. Also, if you're watching on the replay, there's a button below called Hype. It's between the download button and the thanks button if you're watching on a mobile device. If you hit that Hype button, it really helps me get pushed. It helps the algorithm as well. Please do that. But if you're watching live, again, likes, comments, it all helps. And if you want to make sure I see your comment, you can always drop me a super chat. It highlights your comment. I'll be sure to address it. Makes it easier to read it. And also want to thanks to all who have joined the chat. I will get to the comments here in very short order, but first I want to go over the individual stats for the game. We've got Scotty Fox Jr. was 13 of 22 for 157, and I'm taking this hat off, y'all. It is itching me to death. Scotty Fox was 13 of 22, 157, 1 touchdown, 59% completion percentage, a quarterback rating of 134. Dior Hubbard runs the ball 29 times, 108 yards, a touchdown, 3.7 yards per carry. It was just an absolute warrior out there today. You could tell he was not feeling well. He came up limping multiple times, but continued to press through, to push through, and played a really good football game, was getting extra yards when they needed him to at the end. Scotty Fox was the second leading rusher on the team with 65 yards on 10 carries. Sincere Bowers, the really explosive touchdown run he had 9 carries, 65 yards. Clay Ash had 2 carries for 14 yards, had a nice run for him today. The team as a whole ran the ball 53 times, 246 yards, 4.6 yards per carry. So just a really good day today. West Virginia was finally able to get some running out of the running backs. Some of that goes out to the O-line for opening some creases. So credit to them for playing better today. Again, it wasn't perfect. They had their moments where they let guys slip through and didn't get pushed in the run game. But overall, they played a pretty darn good football game. I did hear a super chat come through. I want to address, and then I'm gonna get some comments by VIPs here on the channel. But we've got first one from Appalachia Africa Twin. Thank you, sir. He says, WVU fans are going to have to be patient. It's going to take RR and company a season or two to really get rolling. Thanks for the show today, Couz, and share at Couz's Corner and get him over 10,000 subs. Thumbs up. Thank you, Appalachia Africa Twin. I really appreciate your support. I'm going to give you an applause for your super chat there. All right, we have another super chat here from DRP4. And by the way, both of them are also paid VIP members here on the channel. DRP4 says, "What a win. Let's go." Thank you, DRP4. You too get an applause. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's go ahead and finish out the individual stats, and then we'll get some more comments. Receiving for the West Virginia. Rodney Gallagher, 5 catches, 5 balls, 53 yards. Just another solid performance for him. Listen, Rodney doesn't do anything. You know, he's been criticized probably a little bit by some in the fan base, but man, he played another solid football game today. 5 catches, 53 yards. He held on to the ball. He moved the chains when they needed him to move the chains. He does what he needs to do. So hats off to Rodney Gallagher for being the team's leading receiver today. Was targeted 7 times, caught 5, 32 yards after the catch. Jeff Weimer, 3 catches, 67 yards. Dior Hubbard, a couple nice plays out of the backfield receiving. Cam Vaughn only had 1 catch on 4 targets, but it was a big one, 24 yards and a touchdown. Clay Ash caught a pass for 4 yards, and Ryan Ward, the tight end, caught a pass for 4 yards as well. That's somebody who's really coming on as of late is Ryan Ward. Future's really bright for that young man. He's only a redshirt freshman, so I'm excited to see what he can do if they're able to retain him for next year. Let's look at some stats, too, on the Houston side of things. Connor Wigman, 25 of 35, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns. A nice game for him throwing. However, he did fumble the ball multiple times. Not sure what was going on there. They might need to get with their equipment guys and figure out what's going on. Their football seemed really slick today. Zion Chris come in the game through 1 time, complete a pass for 9 yards. Dean Connors ran the ball 13 times for 71 yards. Butler ran it 5 times for 25 yards. And then Connor Wigman ran it 12 for -27. Obviously, that includes sacks. He did run it and had a touchdown run as well. Leading receiver was Amari Thomas. What a game by that young man. 10 catches, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns, long of 27. Tanner Koziol, the tight end, 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Young had 4 catches. Connors had 3 catches out of the backfield. Broussard had 2 catches. And then Martin and Butler had 1 catch apiece. That one touchdown catch, though, in the fourth quarter, the one that gave him 35 points. When they showed that on the replay, that was not a touchdown. The receiver's hand hit out of bounds before his foot went down in the end zone. That's out of bounds. Houston should have had the ball on the 1-yard line. Now, they likely would have scored anyway, but they have to run one more play. It takes a little bit of time off the clock, and who knows what could happen there. Maybe West Virginia is able to get a couple stops, run even more time, and it could be a different. The end of the game turns out differently. Again, the officiating today, in my opinion, was not good. I saw multiple times that Houston offensive linemen were holding, did not get called. West Virginia got called for holding multiple times in the game. Again, there were at least 2 PI calls I remember in the game that got called against West Virginia that were absolutely bogus, should not have been called. But again, that's just the way the cookie crumbles some days. And today was not the day for West Virginia to get calls going their way. But they were able to do what they needed to do, win 45-35. And they did get calls, the first down spot, which I thought was accurate. That could have went the other way. They could have spotted the ball differently. So there were a few calls that went their way today, but for the most part, I thought the officiating was pretty one-sided for Houston today. Not saying they did that on purpose, obviously. Nobody's being cheated, but just the way the game got called, in my opinion, was definitely not to West Virginia's favor today. That's pretty much it for the statistics. There's no defensive stats up, but, man, West Virginia's got a few defensive guys that deserve shout-outs today. Devin Grant had another pretty good day providing pressure off the edge, I thought. Fred Perry made some plays. We obviously had the pick 6 from Jordan Scruggs. What a nice super chat. Jake T, thank you, sir. What a Very, very generous donation, sir, for the super chat. He says, "Let's go." That one obviously deserves an applause. Make sure I'm not missing any. All right, got that one. Had another one come in. Chris D's in the house. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat, brother. He says, "Great to see the team build on the progress from last week. Scotty is looking like the guy we can build around. Q Country Roads." Absolutely, baby. Scotty Fox played. He managed the game well, kept the ball out of harm's way, made some really good throws, threw the ball away when he needed to throw the ball away, ran the ball really well today. Just that young man is going to be, or at least he has a potential to be the quarterback of the future. I said after TCU, that's only one game sample size. Let's see if he can keep doing it. He did it today again. Something to build on. And this young man's a true freshman. That's what's so remarkable about it, why it gets me so excited. I did a video yesterday about the top 5 players that Rich Rod needs to try to keep that could help transform West Virginia football. He was on it, but I had him at number 5. If I did that video again, I'm moving him up the list probably to number 3, maybe even number 2, not sure. But I will definitely move him up the list after what he did today. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat, brother. Another one from Gabe Daniels. Thank you, Gabe. Gabe says, always tuning in. Beckley born, Mountaineer raised. Thank you, Gabe, for the super chat, brother. Fellow Southern West Virginia guy. Thank you for tuning into the show. James Green in the house, who's also a VIP member, says, thanks, Couz, and let's go Mountaineers. I think I owe both of you guys an applause, don't I? Hold on. Thank you, James, for the super chat. And also, thank you, Gabe. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the chat room and take care of some of these VIPs that have been in here a while that I haven't addressed. We've got Shannon Miller in the house, says it's halftime and I'm mad, Walker. Man, you tuned in early. How did we get beat 45-28? Just a guess, LOL. I bet you were happy to be proven wrong, Shannon, if I had to guess. Big E7375 says, remember before the bye week, I had this game winnable. Yes, I did too. Well, not before the bye week. I had it winnable in the preseason. To be honest, after the bye week, I didn't know if any game was winnable the way that team was playing. Luke Armacall says, I called it, Couz. I ain't mean to take credit, though. That's okay. We'll let you take credit. The back judge was horrible. Absolutely. Let's go. Chris D says, let's go. Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Daniel Gigax in the house says, wow, a win versus a top 25 team. The first one since they beat Iowa State back in 2021, I believe that was, if I recall. First ranked win since 21, and it was on the road. That makes it even more special to me. Chris D, so did Neil Brown seriously never have a top 25 win, or am I wrong? He did against Iowa State in 21 in Morgantown. That was the game where Bryce Ford Wheaton made that really great acrobatic catch in the back of the end zone that a lot of people said wasn't a catch. It was kind of controversial, if you recall, Chris. Neil actually did our one time at home. They beat 22 Iowa State. Yep. Sad how many empty seats they had in Houston. It was sad, man. Houston sports fans have been criticized before about their lack of passion, and as far as for college sports, and they kind of did it again today, man. I kind of feel bad for the team, especially on a day where they're honoring their late coach. They deserved a bigger crowd today, the way they've been playing. Chris D says that's crazy that Rod got a ranked win in his 22nd in his first year with this team. Yep, that's why, man. He's going to do it. We've got to give him time. Matt Neal was the coach then. Q Country Roads says it's Coop. Absolutely, man. Q Country Roads, baby. Q Country Roads. Bourbon Crazy in the house says, heck of a game. The refs tried hard to keep Houston in it. Boy, those calls were not going West Virginia's way. I heard Rich Rod say one time, that's 3 now that you owe me or that you got wrong, you know? And he was right. I know at least 2 of them were wrong. That one that they called there I think it was on Israel Boyce there near the end. he went up to jump for the football. What was he supposed to do? If he doesn't go up for that ball, the guy catches it. He jumps in the air to go after the ball, and they collide, and they call a pass interference. That's bonkers, man. Absolutely bonkers. Don't understand how in the world they called that PI. A complete game, all three phases. Absolutely. Again, there were moments you'd like to have back. They pinned us deep with a punt one time. You'd like to have that back a little bit. There was some poor tackling again in this game, but the defense how do you overcome poor tackling? By forcing turnovers. And again, this defense, you've got to give them credit, man. They continue to take the ball away from the other team. They did it again today. 4 forced turnovers, 3 on defense, 1 on special teams, including a pick 6. You knew as long as this defense continued to force turnovers at the rate they were, one of those was going to end up being 6 points, whether it would be a scoop and score, a pick 6, whatever. They get themselves a pick 6 today. So hats off to Jordan Scruggs for that. Luke says he saw it coming. You did, Luke. You called it, man. You called it. I knew this game was winnable, but I was just worried that I did not have the faith in West Virginia's offense. I did not see this offensive performance coming today. West Virginia had been averaging 17 points a game against Big 12 competition. I think Houston had only been giving up about 18 points a game. West Virginia goes out and puts 45 on them. Who saw that coming? I didn't. I don't think most of y'all did either. Chris D, yeah, baby. It makes up for the Hail Mary game, Mountain Mirror Mama says. Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, my permanent thumbnail, once I get finished with the live portion of this show, is going to say payback time or something about the payback, because after what we saw 2 years ago, man, we deserved it. Joey Foster in the house. How about that? Let's go Mountaineers. Thank you, Joey. Thank you for tuning in, sir. Appreciate you. It's Coop. Is in the house. Ferris to the mall. Ferris of the mall. Is that your name? Yeah. John Kelly in the house. Man, I'm way behind on chats. Browns and Beer says we won today. Worry about that. Chris D, so glad to see them build off the progress from last week. Got another super chat coming in. This one from another one, Appalachia Africa Twin. Thank you. Says a donation for a tube of liquid nails to adhere your towel to that shelf, Brother Couz. Thank you. It's actually holding up today, believe it or not. Now, it might not be there the rest of the show, but it's up today. But thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, brother. It means a lot. Did I miss some other ones here? Let me see. Make sure I got them all. Rudy McGraw with the super chat as well. Bradshaw, West Virginia raised. We got our QB. Rudy, you're dead on the money, man. We absolutely got our QB. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. VIP helps support the channel, and that's all I care about. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, brother. Miami just turned it over. SMU ball in overtime. Final goal, field goal wins it. Interesting. Thanks for the update, Luke. Another super chat from Zach Ranson. Zach Ranson, thank you for tuning in, man. That's a new name. If I have seen you in here, if you've been in here before, I apologize. But thank you for the super chat. He says, former Pride member here, blasting country roads on my tuba spiritually for the show, Couz. Let's go. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for supporting what I'm doing here on the channel. Thank you all for tuning into the show. Again, don't be sure to hit the like button too. That helps, and that's absolutely free. All of you can do that. Even if you're watching on the playback, it helps the algorithm. Let me see. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I got the one from James, I believe. Yep. Scrolling through here. Shannon Miller says, always happy to be wrong with a win. Houston just thought it was a Friday walkthrough. Yeah, they did come out. Houston came out sluggish in the first quarter of the game for sure. But West Virginia was able to capitalize on that, man. And that's what they would not have been able to do that earlier in the year. So I'm still happy for them. I'm still happy for them. Yeah, and they got a top 15 win over Virginia Tech 1 year too, Luke. But unfortunately, Virginia Tech ended up finishing that year not ranked. So it ended up not being as big a win as we thought it was going to be. Big Dan T says our DBs were jumping routes early on. I thought we would get one. Amazing. Absolutely, Big Dan T. Thank you so much for being a VIP member, brother. And for the $9.99 super chat, which I missed, apparently. Landon Chase, thank you for the super chat. Apologize for not seeing it earlier. Says, pretty sure we upset a ranked VT team with Neil Brown. Absolutely. That's what we were referring to earlier. We did upset VT. That was, I think that might have also been 21, maybe. Can't remember. But again, they ended up finishing that year unranked. But both of Neil Brown's wins, if I recall, top 25 wins were at home. Not taking anything away from them. They were still top 25 wins. But this one being on the road to me, man, especially with the way this team has played on the road all year. Look how they played at UCF. Look how they, at BYU, they didn't play terrible, but they, didn't play very well. Even at Ohio, they didn't play well. They had not played well on the road at all this year. Now they're showing, look, first they're getting beat, by a MAC team. Then they get beat on the road by Big 12 teams, blown out. Then they're getting blown out at home by Big 12 teams. Then they lose at home to a Big 12 team close, and now they win close to a Big 12 team on the road, man. This team is making progress. I think they finally found a quarterback, might have finally found an offensive line combination that works, at least is serviceable. Things are starting to click. Dior Hubbard starting to hit holes. Sincere Bowers starting to show his speed off a little bit more. It's starting to come together. Now, doesn't mean it's going to be pretty, doesn't mean that we're going to win the rest of the games. It's still a work in progress, but we will take these wins when we can get them. 211 people in here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, please. For whatever reason, my channel has hit a wall. I got over 200 subs in the month of September. I've only gotten 54. I only got 54 in October. Really strange a set of circumstances. I probably has something to do with the team not performing all that well, really. People start to lose interest. But last I checked, I was 23 away from 10,000. It'd be really cool if I could hit that number very soon. So thank you, Freedom, for that comment, man. It means a lot. Scott in the house says the show is doing a great job. Keep it up. Thank you. We got America First West Virginia in the house. Uber Beats. Let's go Mountaineers. Matt is in the house. Thank you, Matt, for tuning in. Says Neil never beat a top 25 team. Google it. The teams didn't finish in the top 25 that year, but they were top 25 at the time. He beat a 21 or 22 ranked Iowa State at home. And I think Virginia Tech might have been ranked 15th or something at the time. We got Phil Atkins. We got John Kelly again. I mentioned Sean Murray in the house. Ears Link in the house. Thank you, Ears Link. Says we need to build this offseason around Scotty Fox. That kid has it. Nothing but moxie. Agreed. He's tough as nails. He can throw the football accurately. Again, has a lot to improve on. He's especially improve on his deep ball. But man, he's his foot. The announcers talked multiple times how his feet, he'd get his feet off a little bit on those deep balls. But once he gets that fixed, man, I think the sky's the limit for that young man. Now we know why Coach Brown was so high on him. And man, I'm sure glad he stayed around, and I hope he stays around even longer. Next week versus Colorado is definitely winnable. Absolutely. Freedom says people give me money when WVU wins versus losses. Couz just stacking up the college fund for his kid. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Luke Armacall says, yes, Fox is out there limping and giving his all. Nothing but respect. Shannon says, Couz, I mentioned earlier, Haslam dragging Hubbard for 3 yards for a first down was the best play that group made all year. Yes, it was a penalty, but damn, that was what we have been looking for. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I actually didn't even know that was a penalty. In my opinion, I'm like, if you can push a guy, why can't you pull a guy? But I see why it would be against the rules, because technically I guess you could do that on every play. But Shannon, you make a great point, man. The effort that Haslam put in there to get his guy across the first down marker, the effort they were playing with, it just shows you they were doing everything they could to win the football game. So absolutely, I loved it. Yes, it was a penalty, but I loved it. Nothing but mad respect for Donovan Haslam. We've got Barano Beef Dip in the house. Says if Houston had fans, they would be very upset about losing college football eligibility. Yep, if they had fans. Crispy, who's a VIP member, is in the house. Good to see you, Couz. It's good to see you, Crispy. Thank you. John Christophic, we got Devil Dog 44. Thank you, Devil Dog. Thank you for the super chat. Says if this doesn't get you excited for the future, Marshall needs fans. Thank you very much for that. You deserve applause. Landon Chase, thank you for the super chat. Says, our future is bright. 3 freshmen in the backfield all played great. Hubbard, Bowers, Fox. Yes, absolutely. All youngsters. I think technically Bowers may be a sophomore. Nonetheless, he played well, and he could be around a while. Fox, a freshman. Dior Hubbard, a redshirt freshman. We have, obviously, Clay Ash. He made a couple good runs, too. I think he's a sophomore or a redshirt sophomore. There are definitely a lot of young guys on this football team to build around. Question for y'all, because I didn't notice it. Did Curtis Jones even play in this game? Because I do not remember his name being called while watching it on television. Did he play today? If so, he must not have played a ton of snaps. We've got Russell Snyder in the house. So it's a huge win. These guys needed something positive to happen. Turnovers 4-0 Mountaineers. Last touchdown run by Hubbard was sweet. Absolutely it was. Man, he made a couple guys miss, and he did that with I don't know if he had an ankle issue, whatever. He was limping. And came in the game, made that run, made a couple people miss. It was awesome. Big Dan T says this is the 2023 revenge tour, Pitt and Houston. Great point, Big Dan T. Got Chris D in the house, says I didn't see him. Yeah, I didn't either, Chris. Luke Armacall says I saw hide nor hair of him. Yeah, me either. Ferris of the Mall says I think we all wanted as fans was to see some improvement. The past 2 weeks have made me excited to watch games again, build Scotty, work on his accuracy. We're getting there. Huge win. O-line played great today. They definitely played good enough to win the game. I wouldn't say they played great, but man, they did what they needed to do. We saw massive improvement. I'm not going to rag on those guys today. Not going to do it. I'm going to enjoy this win. Shannon Miller says I looked for Jones too. Couz didn't see him. The way Hubbard was limping, I thought we might see him. Well, I didn't even see him on defense. Is the thing, and I'm just it's really weird. They talk about giving him snaps at running back, and heck, he didn't even play defense today. I don't believe. Really weird. Maybe he got injured late in the week or something. Chris D says this shot in the arm couldn't have come at a better time. The team, the fan base, we all needed this to rejuvenate some excitement. Bourbon Crazy says the O-line and wide receivers deserve a lot of credit today for the great blocking. They are a big reason we won. Yes, perimeter blocking was big today. The touchdown run by Hubbard we mentioned earlier, I don't remember who the receiver was. I couldn't see his number. It may have been Gallagher, not sure. Great block on the perimeter. The perimeter blocking has gotten better. The O-line blocked better, especially the left side. If you notice, they were trying to run more to that left side. They were running just enough to the right to keep the defense honest. But, man, if the right side of the line can keep getting better, keep improving, and if they can start playing as well as the left side played today, this is going to be a different football team, even better than they are today. So things are getting better. I'm not as mad at Jack McNeil Jr. as I was earlier in the year. Maybe if you give Jack McNeil Jr. better players, he can coach up an O-line. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what decision they make in the offseason. Maybe it's best that you keep him on now to keep some consistency, especially if you're able to bring in some of these really highly talented recruits on the O-line. Maybe they, depending on how important he is to getting those guys to WVU, assuming they come anyway, maybe you keep him around anyway. But I want to focus on the positives today. You got Zachary Tunick in the house. So Scotty did really well today. He just needs to build up some strength so he stops lobbing all his passes. I don't know that it's as much strength, Zachary. I think it's his footwork. The announcers kept talking about his footwork. He needs to improve his footwork a little bit on those deep balls. I think he's throwing off his back foot a little bit too much. And it's he's getting too much air on it, and a little bit needs to put a little bit more oomph on it. There was a comment up here I saw earlier I wanted to mention. It was Jason Moore. Jason Moore, thank you for joining. He says, them boys got heart. Absolutely they do. Rudy McGraw says, we getting better each week, so proud to be a Mountaineer. Jake Rice in the house. Thank you, Jake. Says, let's go Mountaineers. Sing the building blocks for next year. Amen. Amen. Phil Atkins, aloha, everyone in the house. They have a QB, absolutely. Shannon Miller says, always the bad guy Couz. I don't think Scotty is QB1 next year for the amount of talent we are hoping for, but this isn't the day for that conversation. That's fair. It's probably best to hold judgment until the end of the year, right? But the way he's played the last 2 weeks, though, man, I wouldn't hate it. Hopefully Scotty Fox can bring back the big money donor that Pat stepped in for. Ferris of the Mall says, if it wasn't for some atrocious calls, we should have blown them out. 3 scores or more. We looked complete on offense. Absolutely. Chad Atkins says, word and rumor is there will be changes in the O-line room and the linebacker play in pass coverage we have struggled with the last several years. We need better linebacker play in this area. I agree with that. The linebacker play does need to improve, but I will tell you, Chase, but the 2 starting linebackers, Wilson and Carrico, are both seniors anyway. So there's not going to be a choice but to change because they're leaving. Appalachia Africa Twin with another super chat. Thank you, sir. He says it's footwork and squaring his shoulders with the throw, Couz, but he's improving, which is the important part. Absolutely. Absolutely. He will get there, man. The ball he threw to Jeff Weimer today shows you what he can do. The one he threw to Cam Vaughn earlier in the game shows you what he can do. The one he threw to Cam and Jeff Weimer both last week. He's got the tools. It's just a matter of being consistent with his fundamentals, with his footwork, and his mechanics. Once he's able to do it consistently, and again, he's a true freshman. He's only going to get better. I'm sure he'll go work in the offseason with a quarterback coach somewhere. He'll get better. He will get better. Starting to look like a Rich Rod football team. Absolutely. People were already starting to give up on his football team, man. This what we saw today shows you what he's capable of. Shows you what his teams are capable of. Once he gets everybody buying into what he's trying to sell, getting everybody on the same page, you saw the guys playing for each other, playing hard for each other, putting their bodies on the line for each other, man. That's what you want to see. And that's what, something clicked after that UCF game to get these guys really buying in more. And not, we haven't seen them give up and give, low effort or anything like that since then. So it's really refreshing to see. Raven in the house says, finally Vaughn and Fox connected. Been trying to do that all year. Absolutely. Chris D says, he's answering a Son of Skeeter question. This was a good defense we beat today. It was. And I actually think the offense today, again, I don't want to lose sight of the turnovers. They were a huge difference in the game, especially the pick six. But outside of the turnovers, I didn't think the defense played all that great today. They didn't tackle well. They had a lot of blown coverages. They did stop the run. I'll give them credit for that. And they did get some pressure on Wigman. But man, they gave up some big plays. Houston's not a big play team. And West Virginia gave up some big plays to them. But the turnovers were able to offset. See, that's the thing. If you've got a defense that forces this many turnovers, that will offset a lot of mistakes. But the problem in previous games was the offense wasn't good enough to capitalize on those turnovers. Now they're doing that. And it's so refreshing to see. How many 3rd and longs did they allow? It was 2 or 3 I know of, maybe more. Uber Beats says they made me eat crow. It tastes good. Somebody passed the salt. There you go, brother. There you go. All right. Not sure why anybody's bringing politics into the conversation, but anyway, from 5th string to starter and doing a heck of a job. Absolutely. Oxy MG Gaming says, I live in Clarksburg and everyone's shocked me, but it felt so good. A win like this. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, it was disappointing, Ferris of the Mall. It was for sure. It for sure was. Now I said your name fast. Now I get it. Ferris of the Mall. I like your play on words there. See, I hadn't picked up on that earlier in the chat. That's cute. It's not showing a ranked win, Matt, probably because the teams did not finish the year ranked, is what I had to guess. But they were ranked at the time. I fondly remember each game. Virginia Tech started the year ranked in the top 15. West Virginia beats them to open the season. Virginia Tech went on, I think, to have a losing record that year, right? So they ended up not being that good, in all fairness. And then Iowa State was ranked at like 21 or 22 when they came to Morgantown. Neil Brown West Virginia beats them. I think they ended up finishing the year out of the top 25 and with like a 7-6 record. So again, but neither team ended up being all that good. It'll be interesting to see. We do have to recognize Houston had played a pretty weak schedule up to this point, right? And heck, you could say a 2-6 team coming in continues to be a weak schedule. Maybe West Virginia caught them at the right time, coming off that big win over Arizona State. They hadn't had a bye week in a while. Those types of things. They just lost their strength and conditioning coach. But you know what? They won the game, and this team 3-4 weeks ago would not have won this game today. So I'm going to take it. No excuses. No, we're not going to feel sorry for anybody as far as losing games. Now we can feel sorry for them for losing their strength and conditioning coach. Share our condolences with them on that, as I have. But at the end of the day, West Virginia outplayed Houston today, regardless of the reasons, and we're going to take it. 2 different 3rd and 16s we gave up that I thought would break us, but again, I was wrong. It's just damn good to win. Nothing else to say. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, brother. I'm not going to the game, Jacob, but I will be watching the game, yes. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to jump off of here, y'all. Got a lot going on here at the house, but I wanted to jump on here for a few minutes, just give you guys my reaction. I really thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you especially for all of those who donated. If you want to help me out and you can't give money-wise, I obviously understand it, but all you have to do is hit the like button. It's that simple. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment, and if there's a hype button on your mobile device below and you're watching this on the playback, you can also hit that button for me, and it'll really help. But it's only on the playback. It doesn't show up on the live streams. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. God bless you all. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your college football Saturday, and Q Country Roads.